What's up, guys? NBA 2K rating recap going on with the games for February 27th, 2026. Five of those that we're going to review. A little bit of a short one, but we have a big Sunday night in store for you. So we're going to start off in Charlotte, where the Hornets, they dispatched the Blazers 109-93. They moved to 30-31 on the season. Both teams vying for play-in positioning. Kobe White had his best game as a Charlotte Hornet, had 20 points in 21 minutes off the bench. Brandon Miller leading the way with 26 on 6 of 12 from 3. Khan, his shot was a little off in this one, 10 points, but 2 more threes to add to his record-setting total. Going over to Portland, Donovan Clingan was back from illness, so they started a traditional lineup. Scoot Henderson going back to the bench. Drew Holiday leading the way with 25. Jeremy Grant chipping in 21, but those two accounting for half of the team's points. They don't have a ton of scoring right now beyond those guys. Scoot Henderson was off in this one, had 8 points, was 0 for 7 from 3. Going over to Miami, they moved to 32-29 with a 115-105 win over the Houston Rockets. Big win for them. Norm Powell is out week to week with a strained groin, so Tyler Hero made his return to the starting lineup, had 18 points on 8 of 12 shooting in 33 minutes. Pele Larson added 20. He played 35 minutes, so both players doing a great job filling in for Norm Powell. Bam Adebayo, 24-11. He was 3 for 5 from 3. And then Kel'el Ware also was impressive, 13-15. Was a plus 15 in this game, much to the delight of one Eric Spoelstra. Going over to Houston, they were without Jabari Smith Jr. for this one. He sprained his ankle in the waning moments of the game against Orlando, so Reed Shepherd got the start next to Amen Thompson for once. Amen had 20 points, 11 rebounds, operating more as a four-man with Reed out there with Jabari sidelined. If you recall last year when Jabari was hurt, Amen basically was the starting power forward most of that time. So he's stepping back into a familiar role, one that he excels at more so than point guard, certainly. So look for Reed to probably continue starting with Jabari out. Reed, for what it's worth, had 14 points and 5 assists in this one. KD leading the way as per usual, 32 points, 8 assists. He's going to continue to lead the team in playmaking, as neither Reed or Amen is more of like a traditional point guard. Alperen Şengün also 13 points, 6 of 14 from the field. He was a minus 18 in this game, just not playing at a real all-star level. I'm not exactly sure why I have him so high at an 89 overall. I think it's because they weight I have Hall of Fame hook specialist on him, and they weight that in the ratings pretty highly. But he's only averaging 18 points over the last 2 months, January and February. So we'll see if he's able to turn it all around over the back end of the season. Going over to Toronto, they moved to 35-25, the 134-125 win over the Wizards. Wizards obviously aren't much competition right now. Raptors shot 60% in this game. Emmanuel Quickley leading the way with 27 points, 11 assists. Brandon Ingram with 34. Scotty Barnes, 18. Jakob Poeltl, he got the start with Colin Murray-Boyles sidelined. He had 18 points, 10 rebounds, was 7 of 7 from the field. RJ Barrett also chipping in 21 as well. Going over to the Wizards, their starting lineup continues to play only like 20 minutes a game. They're all on minutes restrictions. So Will Riley continues to lead the team in scoring. He played 35 minutes off the bench, had 19 points, 8 players in double figures in this one. Wizards are basically just kind of going through the motions and playing everybody 20 minutes a game. So a lot of guys with like low end, like 10 to 14 points most of these games. Nobody's actually trying to win a game. So that's my takeaway from them. Going over to the Lakers, they got a win over the Warriors in blowout fashion, 129-101. They moved to 34-24 on the season. Luka, 26, 6 and 8. LeBron, 22, 7 and 9. Austin Reeves adding 18. Lakers actually got some bench scoring in this one with Kennard adding 16 and Jake LaRavia scoring 15. I believe Rui Hachimura missed this one, a second straight game for him due to illness. Golden State, they dropped to 31-29. Just another game where they're lacking star power overall. Draymond and Melton returned for this game for all the good that it did. They were led in scoring by Guy Santos with 14. Guy Santos, for what it's worth, signed a 3-year, $15 million extension. He was set to be a restricted free agent, so he's really impressed over the last month or so, really since the trade deadline, as he stepped into a starting role. Porzingis continues to be out with general illness, so that's essentially who Santos has essentially absorbed all the minutes of. Porzingis was expected to potentially start for this team when they acquired him, but has only played one game in about 17 minutes for the team. Going over to the Pels, it was a tanking rematch for them as they finally passed Utah in the standings by beating them in this one, 115 to 105. It was their fourth straight win for the Pels. They are 4-1 since the All-Star break. They moved to 19-42 on the season. Zion Williamson left this one with an ankle injury in the second quarter, only 11 minutes, so he might have to miss a week or two. We'll see. Obviously, a guy of Zion's size and obviously his injury history. Keep an eye on that, as the Pels have been playing really good, down the stretch, really, since the All-Star break, trade deadline, etc. Because obviously they have nothing to tank for, so they are trying to win as many games as possible. Zion, he might be out. Derek Queen, though, without Zion, he only played 19 minutes in a blowout game where they lost Zion due to injury. So, it is a good thing that they traded that unprotected first-round pick in a generational draft to acquire Queen, as they're now starting DeAndre Jordan over him. Worth noting, Yves Missi returned from a couple games off, and he still also came off the bench behind DeAndre Jordan, which I guess is factoring into Queen's playing time overall. Hopefully he can get back on the court if Zion has to miss any time. But yeah, very disappointing development for him. Jeremiah Fears, he had a much better game comparatively, 18 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. DeJounte Murray was out, just, return to play, reconditioning was what they termed it. Obviously coming off the torn Achilles, so they don't want to push him too hard. But Bryce McGowan, he stepped into the starting lineup with Murray out, had 18 points. Sadiq Bey led the team in scoring with 24. He's been awesome this year and should be probably their number one option, even if Queen re-enters the starting lineup. I don't know how much more time Trey Murphy III is going to miss. That's enough on them. Let's head on over to Utah. Keontae George made his return from I think he missed like 6 or 7 games, if memory serves, but he was back. He had 17 points in this one. Isaiah Collier, he came off the bench, had 21 to kind of lead the way for them in that second unit. Blake Hinson on a 2-way contract. He got the start at the 4 rather than John Conchar. They kind of opted to, run a little bigger since they have Zion out there rather than run with like Ace Bailey matched up with Zion. That would have been a little weird. So let me see. How do we get Hinson in the starting lineup? Probably just by doing that, actually. Now I gotta get Cody Williams in. All right, so we will apply force non-starter to John Conchar. I gotta play around, I think, with the positions a little bit on this team. It's weird. Ace Bailey will start at power forward and shooting guard, and he's a natural small forward. So, yeah, the Jazz are kind of just, this is what kind of happens with tanking teams. Oh my God. What do I have to do to get Collier off the bench? I guess force non-starter on him because he's very highly rated at an 82. Did we do it? We did it. All right, there we go. Our starting lineup for the Utah Jazz right now. Vomit at your leisure. I can't believe we still have 22 more games of this, to be quite honest. Philadelphia, we're done with our games, but just going around league news, Joel Embiid, he's going to miss 3 games with a strained oblique that he suffered in his last game, so he's out for the rest of the week. Darius Garland, he's not going to play tonight, but he will make his debut with the team on Monday. He's expected to. Dallas, they waived Tyus Jones, so Tyus Jones will be playoff eligible for another team once he signs, as the deadline to waive players, I believe, is today for them to be eligible for the playoffs. So they are converting Ryan Nembhard. And also, Chris Middleton is going to be finishing out the year with the team as they do have some interest in bringing him back in free agency. So he opted to stick around, and he's got a pretty decent amount of minutes right now. They have been dealing with some injuries in their front court, of course, most notably to one Cooper Flagg. They did waive Miles Kelly from a two-way, bringing in Tyler Smith. And they also brought in, he has to get added to the game, John Pulakidis, I believe is how it's pronounced. He is a shooting guard, so essentially taking Miles Kelly's role as a shooting guard, small forward, as a two-way player on this team. Quentin Jackson, this happened a couple days ago, but I didn't actually cover it. He got converted to a standard contract, going to sign a 3-year deal. Jalen Slauson, who previously played, I believe, with the Orlando Magic a couple of years ago, he was one of the better players in the G League. He's taking his spot on a two-way contract. I don't believe 2K's re-added him to the game just yet, but he has a pretty good opportunity with the team, as Johnny Furphy is going to miss most of next year with a torn ACL, so they definitely do need a little bit of wing depth on this team. Worth noting, I guess, with Ryan Nembhard, he is signing a 2-year deal with the after being converted from his two-way contract. So great news for him, a little bit overdue. And then the Washington Wizards, he has to be added to the game, but they signed Julian Reese on a two-way. He is the brother of one Angel Reese in the G League. In the WNBA. He's coming from the G League, Julian Reese is. So he is a power forward, is probably really good at rebounding from catching all of his sisters' misses as they were growing up. And then, I don't really have any notes over that. I did redo the shot tendencies for the entire league, so feel free to check those out. It's going to help a lot with simulations in the roster file. There were some key players that a lot of players that needed some massive overhauls. I'll go over some of those. Actually, I should note that 2K did not update shooting tendencies this past season. Normally, they update every year. They'll update. So the tendencies right now are based on the 2024 season rather than the 2025 season. So they were 2 years already out of date. So a lot of players have obviously gotten much better over the course of the last couple of years, like Jalen Johnson, for example. Just some of the notable ones. Even guys like Kawhi Leonard, based on they lost James Harden this year, so he's taken on a larger offensive role with the team. Not just James Harden. Norm Powell is who they actually lost between this season and last season. Obviously, the Harden Garland trade doesn't affect Kawhi's production on the year that much as of yet, but so that's like a plus 20 in shot rating or shot tendency for him. Donovan Mitchell, for whatever reason, only had a 75 for the last 2 years, so he gets a plus 20 to a 95. Michael Porter Jr. stands out as a really big one. Plus 30 for him. He went from being the third option on the Denver Nuggets to the number one option on the Brooklyn Nets. Dylan Brooks is another player who's a plus 30. Likewise, going from a Rockets team where he was like the fourth option, the 3-and-D only guy, whereas he's the number 2 option on the Phoenix Suns. Denny Avdia is obviously a player who's stepped up quite a bit over the last year. Austin Reeves also is like a plus 25 in his shot tendency. Brandon Miller isn't a player who's really broken out over the last year or so. Ditto with Shaedon Sharpe. Pascal Siakam is taking on more of an offensive role this year with the absence of Tyrese Halliburton. They're running the offense more through him than they were previously. So that really covers all of our star players. Then there are a lot of role players across the league who likewise are playing hugely different roles. So Keyshawn George is probably the biggest jump. He had a 35 shooting tendency, which is like a 12 usage percentage. So he's up to 70. That's more like a 23 usage percentage. So like his usage has essentially doubled. So big boost for him in that regard. Likewise for Alex Sarr, who had a 50. I guess I should also touch on, because these haven't been updated in 2 years, They actually haven't been updated since the 2024 draft class actually played in any games. So Alex Sarr's 50 is not even based on last year. It's based on what he did in overseas, where 2K was just basically like spitballing like what his usage rate was going to be. So comparatively, Zachary Rizachet is actually one of our biggest decreases in this, as he drops 20 points to a 55. They had him at a 75 because, hey, they figured he was the #1 overall pick. But he was always essentially going to be a role player type of guy. Should never have been that high in this. There aren't not too many stars that really like drop off in such a huge regard. Steph Castle's a player who, likewise, part of that draft class that never got reevaluated. He's a plus 15 to a 75. De'Aaron Fox, comparatively, is not shooting the ball as much as he was with the Kings, where obviously the offense was him and Domantas Sabonis, but now he's playing with Victor Wembanyama, but also Steph Castle taking on a larger role in the offense. De'Aaron Fox is essentially a minus 20 in shot tendency. His usage rate is much lower than it's been the past couple years. So he's really the probably the biggest name player that sees a decrease in his shooting tendency. Otherwise, it's a lot of like random role players like DeAndre Ayton, for example, who recently was in the news for the Lakers. They're treating me like Clint Capella. Well, yes, when you play with a bunch of generational passers, they're not going to ask you to create stuff one-on-one. So I've got him down at a 50, which is minus 15 from where he was at with Portland. Marcus Smart, likewise, is a minus 20. Obviously, just playing a 3-and-D type of role with the Lakers compared to what he was asked to do with like the Grizzlies over the past couple of years, where he played, where he was filling in for Ja Morant while Ja Morant was hurt. So Ja Morant, obviously, he had to ramp up his scoring. Marcus Smart did while Ja was out. And then a little bit of odds and ends. A lot of random players have 99 shot tendency in the 2K roster, which let's head on over to the actual NBA official roster just to get our shits and giggles. Going over to their shooting tendencies, which haven't been updated. We've got Myron Gardner has had a 99 shot tendency for pretty much the entire year, which is actually now impacts the team now that he's off of his two-way contract, signed a 3-year deal. He's actually part of the team now in their rotation. So him having a 99 shot tendency is kind of a big problem. Luka Garza has a 99. Oh my God. Darius Brown, who just got signed on a two-way. I don't know who they're using to like copy, who they're using as a template for some of these like guys when they add them to the game. But there's no reason that a two-way player should ever have a 99 shot tendency. That's just fucking ridiculous. So just another player that anytime they add these guys to the game, you have to like go through and make sure that they didn't do something just absolutely ridiculous like that. And then even for guys they drafted, like in the first round this past year, why does Yang Hen-sen have a 99 shot tendency? It just makes no sense. They didn't do any bit of homework on. They're just copy and pasting somebody else, and then just calling it a day. So I'm sure none of Yang's tendencies actually reflect the player that he is. They just kind of looked at somebody like, oh, just use this guy, and then didn't have the due diligence to actually go back and backtrack and update. One of the most important tendencies in NBA 2K. It doesn't have any gameplay implications, but it very much affects simulations, which is, essentially most people are only going to control one team in a simulation or in my career or whatever. So, yeah, and then even then, if you end up getting drafted by the Portland Trailblazers in your my career or whatever, and then you're playing next to Yang Hen-sen, like, why is this guy always fucking taking so many shots even though he sucks? Well, this is why, because they programmed him completely off. Anyway, and I guess finishing off, Modi Awara doesn't have a 99. He has a 95. I don't, whatever, dude. So, yeah, those are the 6 guys who are completely, like, what were you doing there? And I went through and updated the entire league, which is like 500-ish players. So it was not took an afternoon. of crunching. So hopefully you guys enjoy. That the roster will be playing better. I will see you guys later tonight as we break down a really interesting slate of games. We've got the Knicks going up against the Spurs. Spurs, 11-game winning streak going up against the team that beat them in the NBA Cup. So should be a fun one. I'll see you guys later tonight. Peace.